Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back from the brand new video. Today's video, not only are we back, but so is European football, which usually means Rangers will be back to their best. Let's hope that continues, eh? Dinna be wide, Leverkusen. Dinna be wide. But as always, before we go any further on with today's video, a quick little shout out to the channel sponsors themselves, OneFootball, whose link is right down there in the description below if you want a wee bit extra Rangers news. And speaking of Rangers news, we may have a game tomorrow versus Bayer Leverkusen, so let's just get on with it then, shall we? And as always, we're going to be starting off with the oppositional preview and having a look at this Leverkusen side. Now, coming into this game versus Rangers, Bayer Leverkusen are currently on a 9-game undefeated streak featuring 8 wins within those 9 games. And within those 8 wins, there's wins over the likes of Dortmund, Stuttgart and Porto. The latter on that, by the way, is a team we also bet. Just saying. But regarding the old domestic football over in Germany, they currently are sitting in the 4th spot in the Bundesliga, only 3 points behind Leipzig, who, if you just watched play Tottenham last night, absolutely tore them apart. But back to our opposition, a quick little example of how good Leverkusen actually are. Not only are they only 3 points behind that team, but they just played 10 days ago, and Bayer Leverkusen travelling to Leipzig Stadium came away with a 1-1 draw, but they should have been far and away clear because they battered them in every aspect of the game. Yep, I think it's fair to say this team is pretty damn good, and not only are they only just behind Leipzig, they are only 4 points behind Dortmund in the league as well. And you know, everyone talks him up about being worldies. This guy's brilliant, this guy's brilliant, this guy's brilliant. Well, Leverkusen is up there punching with the heavyweights. In fact, when you actually take a step back and you look at German football as a whole, over the last 5 games, the only team that can match what Bayer Leverkusen has been doing to teams is Bayern Munich. That's it. And that actually leads me to my next talking point, and we're going to be looking at a couple of key individuals for this matchup versus Rangers. And the first one, I'm just going to get it out of the way right away because we all know who I'm going to be talking about, right? It's the most obvious choice for a key player, but he's obvious for a reason, and it's none other than Kai Havertz. He's absolutely brilliant, but then just take my word for it. The weekend there, coming into this game versus Rangers, he went ahead and cemented himself forever in the German history books by becoming the youngest ever player to reach 30 goals in the Bundesliga. Which, considering all the incredible attacking talent they've had over the years, is really, really impressive. You then add the fact that he's not even an out-and-out goal scorer, he's a midfield player, then you realise the hype is real. But let's take a step away from the German wonder kid, because there's honestly enough headlines being wrote about this lad, and I actually want to flip it on its head, because I don't want to talk about their incredible attacking talent like your Baileys, your Bellarabis, your Diaby and your Polinios. I don't want to talk about them. Nah. I want to flip it and look at the centre half spot and talk about Jonathan Tah. Now, just putting all my cards on the table, if Bender was actually able to play in this game, I'd have definitely be mentioning Sven as one of the key players going into this game. But both Sven and Lars Bender are both officially ruled out by Bayer Leverkusen, so it's all down to Jonathan Tah to match up against Alfredo Morelos. Now, both Alfredo and Jonathan are relatively young in the football terms of things, Alfredo being 23 and Tah being 24, but both of them are strong as they come, and I honestly think this battle right here is going to be the key battle from a Rangers perspective to see if it's going to be a good night for us. But with that being said, let's move away from the individuals then, because honestly they are so littered with quality. This part of the video right here could be 15 minutes long on its own. They are that good individually. But let's take a step back and look at them as a team. How did they set up and what formation do they play? And this part for me was really, really interesting to see, because no matter what formation they start games with or they're going with, whether it's their 3-4-2-1 or the 4-2-3-1, which is our 2 main formations that they like to mix and match with depending on personnel, it doesn't matter what formation they go into games with, because they still pretty much have the exact same strengths and weaknesses, and their strengths are absolute incredible pace on either flanks, whether it's their full-backs if they're playing the 4 at the back, or if it's their wing play and attackers if they're going 3 at the back. Frighteningly quick on either flank, but always, no matter what setup they actually go with, the middle 3, the 3 central attacking players mix and match and roam wherever they want. Sometimes Kai's the furthest man forward, sometimes he's the furthest one back in the attacking trio, and he's waiting on the outside of the box for the ball to drop. It's so refreshing to see a team with such attacking freedom. They aren't overcoached into the same repetitious build-up play over and over again. Every time they get the ball, it's a different scenario and it's a different pattern. To me, that was just amazing to see good creative players allowed to be good creative players. And I think right there is the perfect place to end this Bayer Leverkusen preview. They are a fantastic team. They are the best team that we will play in a very, very long time. And I think they're actually the hardest team we could have drawn in the Europa League. I know it's a bit of a coin toss between them and Inter Milan, but all I can say for today's video, as much as I have watched of this Bayer Leverkusen team to make this video, I have been nothing short of impressed at some of their attacking play. However, it is a European night and usually Rangers have a bit of something special for those bright lights. And moving over to the Rangers side of things, despite everything I have just said about this Leverkusen side and how fantastic they are, I'll be honest, I am still more comfortable going into these games against the likes of Leverkusen than I am playing Scottish football teams right now, honestly. And listen, I know there's so much negativity around Rangers right now because of the way that the leagues went and the domestic cups and everything that. I know that's absolutely crap. Trust me, I'm there with yous and I felt that gut punch as well. But what we're doing right now is absolutely incredible and it's nowhere near getting enough love for the Scottish media. But we should be going into this game, win, lose or draw. So proud of this team and so proud of the players all the way through all those qualifying rounds into the old group of death, as it was quoted when it was first announced. People laughing at us saying, oh, we're barely going to get 6 points, never mind qualify for the group. We battled through everything. We got through Braga, who was supposed to play us off the park. We got by them. Now we find ourselves versus the best team in the competition, and that right there is something just to be proud of. And yeah, I just felt like I needed to say that because it's not getting talked up enough by the media in this country. They're just pushing it off to one side and focusing on all this other stuff. But let's not overlook what we've managed to do already and what we may, just may, do going forward. And just like I said before, the first leg of the Braga game, you may as well take Rangers' domestic form, do that and chuck it over your shoulder because domestic Rangers and European Rangers are a completely different team. Now, I've said it once and I'll sit here and say it again, Rangers seem more suited to European football because European oppositions go for Rangers and they force Rangers to play quickly, and when Rangers are forced to play quickly, they look hell of a lot more dangerous than that slow, sad, passive, side to side nonsense. That will not be happening tomorrow because Leverkusen will be hunting Rangers down every second that they have the ball because Leverkusen loves having the ball, they love having possession and they love dominating that stats. And just like Braga, they will be having that extremely high defensive line. Whether it is 3 at the back, whether it's 4 at the back, it's always the same. Exactly like Braga, right up to the halfway line, trying to push the opposition in to their own half, which I think is going to happen. I think you're going to see Rangers sitting a lot deeper, but just like that game versus Braga, that does give Rangers the opportunity and the chance to attack the channel and get behind this extremely high defensive line. And without the experience of the Bender brothers in that back line, leaving Jonathan Tah there to be the vocal, to be the leader, that right there is why I mentioned the fact that this is going to be the key matchup in the game. Alfredo versus Tah. It could be won and lost in that matchup. Now, speaking of Alfredo Morelos, that actually leads me into my next talking point, and this is going to bring up the question of today's video that I'm really interested to know where your heads are at going into this game tomorrow, and it's going to be Alfredo Morelos. Should he start or should he not? Now, I know that would seem absolutely bonkers just a couple of months ago, and hell, the guy is still the joint top goal scorer in the competition, but if we're being brutally honest, he's basically been a man down for the last 3 or 4 games, and he's not the only one that's underperforming. That goes pretty much throughout the entire team, but Morelos especially has been struggling, and the guy who's been coming in and doing a job at the striking position, Kamberi, is looking fantastic at not only making runs and doing the unselfish work that Gerard praised so highly versus Braga, but his ability to link up play. So I want to ask you, watching today's video, is it Alfredo Morelos or is it Big Flo Kamberi up top? Now, while you guys are hopefully getting your thoughts and opinions out there, I will give you mine very, very briefly. And if you've been watching today's video, I've mentioned Alfredo Morelos a couple of times and even said he's going to be a key player in this game. So I think that should tell you where I'm leaning. As much as I rate Big Kamberi and I've been very impressed in this game of football against this level of opposition, if there's even a slight chance, and I mean 0.001% chance, we can get Morelos backfiring and get his mojo back, I think in this game we have to take it. We need to roll the dice. Now, despite the fact that Gerrard even said himself that he has not decided yet who will lead the line, whether it is Alfredo or whether it is Kamberi, the rest of the press conference was pretty much the same thing we've heard over and over again. However, there was a lot talking about the coronavirus, and obviously that's been filled in the comment section. That's been tweeted to me so much. My Instagram is filled with messages whether or not this game's going to go ahead and whether or not the game next week is going to go ahead. Now, to answer all those questions and to address the coronavirus stuff, it's got to be said, I don't have a Scooby-Doo. I'm an idiot with a camera who likes to talk about the team he loves. I don't know the ins and the outs. All I do know is what's been officially stated by Rangers Football Club and by Leverkusen is the fact that yes, so far, as I'm currently recording today's video, the game tomorrow is definitely going ahead. However, the away game versus Bayer Leverkusen next week will be played behind closed doors if it goes ahead. And I said if there because I'm not sure if the game will go ahead next week. Hell, I don't even care if the game will go ahead tomorrow. Yes, all signs are positive from Rangers and Leverkusen that the game definitely will be going ahead. But if you look around and you see what's happening, you've got the Manchester City-Arsenal game postponed. You've got the Roma-Seville game now postponed. You've got the Wolves manager coming out and saying he doesn't want to play. You've got the Inter Milan game postponed. It is gone around right now, and there's apparently discussions and talks happening today from UEFA whether or not they will be postponing all of the Europa League games. So yeah, there's so much uncertainty going around the old footballing world right now. I wish I had the answers and I could tell you guys so you know what's going on, but in truth, I honestly didn't care. The second I do know, I will make a video and we can discuss it from there. But if the game is going ahead tomorrow, we have a massive test versus Bayer Leverkusen. So let's jump over and talk about some latest team news. Now, first up, we have some heartbreaking news, especially for me. If you watch this channel, you know Ryan Jack is actually my favourite football player. Well, he is officially ruled out of this game for Rangers, confirmed by Steven Gerrard in this week's press conference that he is out, but there is a chance he'll be available for next week. Now, in my non-biased opinion, I still think that is massive for Rangers that Ryan Jack is missing out. Look at the protection he offered that defence in midfield in that second game versus Braga when he was eligible to play. However, we did get a little bit of good news regarding the old midfield, and that's the fact that Scotty Arfield has been declared fully fit and available for the game tomorrow. But moving away from the midfield and moving backwards towards the Rangers defence, we got a little bit of an update regarding James Tavernier, and it's the fact that he is still listed as a doubt for the game tomorrow, and that's a real surprise. I really thought he would be back declared fit for this game, but he is still being listed as a doubt, and Gerrard even said that he's going to give him to the last possible minute to see if he is able to play in the game tomorrow. That right there, that little statement to the last minute told me that Gerrard wants Tavernier in there no matter what. But if Tavernier isn't able to play in this game, who do you want to go with at right back? You've got the big, most physically gifted player in Matty Polster. You have the young, up-and-coming Nathan Patterson. Or do you go for the more defensive option in John Flanagan? That's your three choices if Tavernier does miss the game, so be very interested to see who you guys want to see tomorrow. Now, sticking with the defence for a brief second, you've got Hollander, who played 45 minutes in a youth game just a couple of days ago, which is brilliant news to see him back on the football pitch. However, he is still nowhere near fit enough to play in this Rangers team, so unfortunately it's going to be a little while until we see the Swedish Viking play for Rangers again. And last but not least, we've got an update revolving Jermaine Defoe, who will be once again missing for 3 to 4 weeks. But with that being said, that is the team news, that is the oppositional preview, and that is the Rangers discussion all wrapped up in a neat little bow. All that's left is for me and they to get their prediction ons out there. So what are you thinking about the game tomorrow and why? While you guys are getting your thoughts and opinions out there, I'll give you mine very, very briefly, because I'm going to be honest with you, my mind's got so much going on with this game because I'm seeing how good this team is, but I'm going to always back in here, lads. Always go with your ticker, ladies and gentlemen. And I believe Rangers will turn up to this game. I believe it is going to be feisty, but I think it's going to finish Rangers 2, Leverkusen 1, the old channel favourite. But now that me and thee have had their say, let's jump over to Twitter then and hear from the people. Now I'm very interested to see what the answers are to this. There's been 1,740 votes. Thank you so much for getting involved. 15% votes for the draw, 19% votes for a Leverkusen win, but 66% of the people is still backing Rangers for a home win. The first one comes in from David White and he writes in a tight 1-0 Rangers. Had you with a screamer of a free kick. He also finishes up by saying, I honestly don't think there's going to be a UEFA Cup final or a Champions League final either if things keep going the way they are. It'll just be our luck that we beat Leverkusen over 2 legs, then the competition is shut down. Thanks for that, David. Always a pleasure. Gary writes in 2-0 to Rangers. We're pumping them. We'll love to see that. Mike.g writes in 3-1 to the famous. It's going to be a difficult game, but the lads will get it done. Arfield, Hadji, and Alfredo Morelos. Barney Stinson writes in, going to go with 2-1 win for the famous. Hadji and Kamberi with the goals. Come on. Legers, looks like Barney's on the old wavelength, and he's answered Kamberi to start the game over Morelos. It seems to me that me and the nation are in sync with this 2-1. Seems to be a very popular score. But the last one we'll read out in tonight's video, we'll scroll up here, scroll down here, and we'll stop it here. And it comes from Caitlin, and she writes in 1-0 to Rangers. Hadji to score. And with that being said, you've heard from the people, you've heard from myself. If you haven't done so already, you know what to do by now. And as always, I've been CJonovo92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.